We're here today because I'm interviewing the amazing Jay Harvey. He's a singer-songwriter, solo artist, and he's agreed to be interviewed, which is very kind of him. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
Right, before we start discussing your music career, I just need to know where you went to school, and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love school. I was one of those kind of kids that just made the most of it. It was all fun and games to me. I just went there. It was in Bow in East London. I went to a school called Bow Boys, or Bow School for Boys. And basically, all me and all my mates was all from the same kind of council estates, and all of us went to that school, so it was quite a laugh. But I did enjoy it.
Can I have a brief synopsis of your employment?
Employment, I've done everything. I've been a bit of a Del boy, to be honest with you. I've tried all sorts, from labouring to working in shops, estate agents, painting and decorating, all sorts, but nothing really kind of fit the bill. Got bored very easily, moved on.
So your one true love's always been music, has it?
Yeah, it has, yeah. It kind of developed and got bigger and bigger in there.
Yeah, tell me about your music career now. We'll talk about how you got into it a bit later, but if you can tell me what you...
Okay. At the moment, I'm working on like a commercial album. Something I've not really done at the time because I've done other bits and bobs, but now I'm working on my first kind of commercial album with a good friend of mine, a guy called Alias. Got the majority of the tracks are done now. So
yeah, I've listened to some of them on MySpace, isn't it?
Yeah, I've put a couple on there, just as a little taste.
Well, what do you do to support yourself?
I'm actually a personal trainer as well, by day.
Ah.
So working in gyms and outside of gyms with people and trying to get people back into shape, basically. Which I actually do enjoy as well. It doesn't feel like work to me.
Can you just tell me, go through your typical week or typical day? Or
typical day. I've got quite a hectic lifestyle. I don't have much time for being indoors. Yeah, so my usual kind of typical week would consist of obviously work. I'm there probably like 5 or 6 days of the week in the gym, training people and blah blah blah. Then most evenings, wherever I can fit it in, I'll be recording in studios, or if weekends I'll be doing some like kind of live PAs and gigs and things like that. And yeah, usually Sunday is my recording day. That is set in stone. That's my day to be in the studio.
Looks so hot, we should get a little bit closer.
What inspired you to become a singer-songwriter and get in the music industry? Tell me a bit about that.
It started when I was younger, really. I've always been involved in kind of acting things, and I'm quite a creative person, so I like to be kind of up the front doing something. I can't sit still. I'm hyperactive, so I need to be doing something creative, using my mind. I was good at art and drama, and then turned out music. So when I was about 14, I started getting into more in music from the acting, and it's just continued since then. But
how did you actually discover that you liked singing that?
It was quite weird actually. Me and my friends used, because I grew up in a big council estate, and we used to sit in the flats in the stairs and stuff on the cold nights instead of running around just on street corners.
I'm glad to hear it.
And we had a lot of MCs and kind of underground like kind of singers and things like that, and everybody was quite creative and DJs and stuff. So we'd all sit there and just sing and MC and chat as you do and make music on the staircases. And it was then when I started to. I wasn't a very good MC, but that's when I kind of got into the singing. I thought, oh, you know,
that must be great fun though.
Yeah, I can sing a song. Yeah, we used to make some really. It was really good actually. It's a shame in them days we didn't have no mobile phones really at the time. We was all too young for all that.
No, that's right.
So
I remember those days as well.
Yeah. So, otherwise, it would be good to record the things we used to make, because people used to walk past us in the stairs and think, oh my god, there's loads of kids in the stairs. But they come past and can hear us all beatboxing and singing and stuff.
Oh,
like
brilliant!
So
that was quite nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
And you just carried on. You carried on from there. But have you got music in your background then?
Yeah, my dad he's been involved in music since like the 70s and stuff. He was in bands. He played.
So you grew up with it.
Yeah, so I kind of grew up with it. But
it's in your blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. Definitely in the blood. But he never really pushed me to it. He just said like, I just went to him one day. I was like, Dad, you know what I mean? I want to make some music. And he was like, hey. What
would you say were the best and worst bits of being a singer-songwriter?
The best bits is, for me, it's the whole thing. I just love doing it, making music, being in the studio, the whole kind of studio environment, being with creative people, trying to think of what sounds best and what works, what doesn't work, and then performing. Obviously, for me, it's the best feeling in the world, walking onto the stage and singing. Bad points is probably just the industry itself, because it's tough.
So, and what do you think? What would you call the most satisfactory thing that you do, and what are your challenges?
It's, I think, coming up with a good song. You know when you've made a good track instantly from the very beginning. I'll go to the studio. You get a vibe. You know, even from an instrument. If you hear someone play, you're like, oh, if you made this beat, and they play you, and you just go, you know what? If the instrumental gets you, then I kind of get into a zone. I'll just get down and write it. And
what would you say is your best track so far?
My best track. Wow.
Sessions.
I'm most well known for Sessions, which was kind of my biggest kind of underground thing.
Because I've actually got a little clip of Sessions, which we're going to play right now for you.
Baby, feels nice when you push back on me. Work your hips, move your thighs, show me how your loving can be. You love it when I take control. I can tell from your flow. Your body's going down for more. Girl, you want my I love you when we touching and the teasing. I feel your body shiver as I ease it. You know I love it when we're all alone. Our sessions.
Thank you very much for that. I enjoyed that very much.
Good.
So, what's more important to you? Do you like performing more or writing music more?
It's a different kind of feeling. Both of them are linked. Making the music and being creative and thinking of the ideas and putting something down and being happy with it is a great feeling, and listening to kind of the final mix and stuff. But then actually taking it further and start performing it and getting people's response, and then hopefully hearing what you're hearing when you make the track is a good thing. When I did Sessions, the first time I performed that, because it had been on kind of the pirate stations for a while, and the first time I performed it, there was people singing it back, because people obviously listen to the station, and that for me was one of the best feelings I've had making music. To actually have the people singing the lyrics that I'd written, and they knew the word for word. I found that was great. That's
very satisfying.
Yeah, it's
good. How would you recommend your sort of job to others?
Yeah, definitely. If you're ready for the graft, I mean, if you're lucky, you know, you might
hard work but rewarding
fall into it. So if you're prepared to put the work in, because it's that kind of industry, like, you know, I can say becoming a footballer is probably even harder.
Well, there are.
But if that's what you love, I believe, then go for it. Why should you settle for something else?
And you truly enjoy what you do. Yes, you do it because you enjoy it.
I love it. That's right.
If I wanted to be a singer-songwriter, what advice would you give me?
Meet people and network, and try and get into studios and kind of learn your trade.
Right, so if you were 13 again, and you were just starting school, what would you change second time round? Is there anything?
I've not got any regrets, but one thing I probably would change. I think I would start making the music younger in my age, because I didn't start really getting into it till I'd left school.
Have you got any sort of medium-term career goals or long-term career goals? Where can you see yourself in 5 years' time or 10 years' time? Or
I can see myself.
Where do you really want to be?
Where do I want to be? I want to be an established music artist, singer-songwriter, established, albums under my belt. And
is it about the fame or the fortune, or is it?
I just want to do what I enjoy.
Finally, now that you're wise and you've got years of experience, what advice would you give to any student leaving school or university today about life and the ways of the working world? Not specifically about music, just anything in general. Your pearls of wisdom, please.
Pearls of wisdom. I always say, aim for the stars.
There we have it from Jay Harvey. Aim for the stars. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, and I wish you all the very best. Cheers. Take care.
Sitting on your own, talking about feeling alone. I'll never know why you hold it in. You don't know where to begin. Let me step in. Got to let me know. Tell me what you're thinking. Girl, I'm here, I'm listening to you.